Hello, welcome to Weekly Recipes. Every Tuesday, I'd like to release a recipe that falls on the keto eating plan. Today, I'm cooking chicken enchilada soup. It's another one of those recipes where you throw everything in one pot and cook it up. Uh, yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. And here's all what's in it. Starting off with, it's funny, the recipe says use 2 tablespoons of, it says either use vegetable oil, or you can use avocado oil. But the way people throw the tantrums online about the vegetable oil, I decided to go with the avocado oil. I hope I find more uses for that because that stuff is expensive. I'm pretty sure you can use that for anything that you use oil for. So, it says 2 cups of red onion chopped up. I think that's about 2 onions. 1 bell pepper. Lately, the bell peppers at the store are really kind of tiny. I don't know if it's a seasonal thing or just happened to get a bad crop. 2 teaspoons of cumin, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of salt. Thank you. Finally, a recipe that doesn't have salt, pepper taste. It's kind of funny. At the store, the recipe calls for 12 ounces of enchilada sauce, but the only when I went to get the groceries for this recipe, I didn't write down what size to get, so I picked up the big can because it's soup, so you must be losing a lot of sauce. But I guess it's only 12 ounces. That's a 28-ounce can. When I found the recipe when I came back home to look at the recipe, I get a ticket right to the store. But the smaller can is more expensive than the bigger can. So, oh well. It's sidetrack. 8 ounces of salsa, 2 cups of chicken broth, a pound of chicken breasts, a cup of sour cream, 1 cup of shredded sharp cheddar cheese, a quarter cup of green onions chopped, and a quarter cup of chopped fresh cilantro. So let's go ahead and get everything chopped up. All right, got everything cut up and ready to go. Got 2 tablespoons of oil sitting here in medium heat. Probably got a little too hot while I was warming up while cutting everything up. So the first step is to put the onions. Interesting to use red onions. I don't use red onions very often. And bell pepper into the pan. That's a good smell. That's a really good smell there. I'll let those cook until they get translucent and soft. Okay. No, that's been cooking for a while. Said 5 minutes my hand. Anyway, now I'll see in the cumin, the chili powder, and the salt. Said let that cook until fragrant. Which shouldn't take too long. Cumin's pretty fragrant by itself. And this pan is pretty warm. Okay, now I'll add in the enchilada sauce. And the salsa. The chicken. In there. And the broth. Get that all mixed up. Get that mixed up, and I'll let that come up to a boil. Now that it's boiling, I'll go ahead and lower the heat down to a simmer. And here's the interesting part. Let that sit. Let that boil, simmer for 30 to 40 minutes. So I'll just let the timer 35. Just let the average. Okay. This has been cooking for a while. I even turned up the heat. It's been cooking over an hour. it said 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how thick your chicken is. And I think this chicken's so thick it's going to vote for third-party candidates. But anyway, it's either there's something wrong with the thermometer or something wrong with the chicken. But either way, this has been cooking for too long, and I need. So next step is to turned off the heat and put this over to a plate and shred up the chicken. I can't help to think that it would have been easier to cut the chicken up before I put it in the pan, but that's what the recipe says to do. And now I'll get a couple of forks to shred up the chicken with. Okay, now that the chicken's shredded up, I'm going to go ahead and add that back into the soup. Get mixed in. Now I'll add in the chicken. I'll add in the cheese, and then the sour cream. Probably been sitting out for way too long. Then now I'll get that all mixed up. It says to mix until all of the ingredients are combined and, well, it says dissolved, but I don't think that's the right term for mixing this kind of stuff in. But yeah, that didn't take very long, probably because it's been sitting out for way too long. But now that that's all mixed up, I think these are supposed to be toppings, but the way I do my meals, toppings wouldn't make much sense. So I'm going to go get those mixed in as well. That's a pretty good thumbnail right there, but that's pretty much it. That's what it would look like for normal people, but I'm not normal, so I get that mixed in. I guess that's not a bad thumbnail. So I'll let that cool off while I get some dishes done and bowls cleaned up to get them bowled out. And okay, there's the finished product. Yeah, finally another recipe that makes 6 servings, and it says 6 servings. And it smells amazing also. So I think it's another recipe I'll cook when I'm not trying to catch up with recipe videos. Um, but yeah, this is chicken enchilada casserole, but I'll bet beef and pork does pretty good in that recipe as well. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like, favorites, like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. And have a nice day.